Hey everyone, I wanted to do a little live session, a recorded session using our library's website to show you how to find a peer-reviewed source to add to your research paper. What's this source for? Right? A lot of students might be asking, what's this source for? Well, however you need it. So let's look back at your paper. Which point needs a little bit more support? Do you have an additional point that you could add to your paper that you didn't have in essay 2 that we might need at this point? A lot of you focused on the issue, right? But maybe it's a solution-based point that you want to talk about. Maybe you have an idea for the solution, or maybe there's an additional point that you didn't cover that needs some development, or you only covered a little bit and it needs some development. Are you missing data, right? Are you missing any data that you could use to supplement your point? So that's where you might use this peer-reviewed journal article. Going from the main homepage of our school, here we go to, there's several different ways to get to the library. So it's hovering over academics. I can go down to library here, or I can click on current students over here. There's a way there. Or I'm just going to go over here to the little hamburger lines, and scroll down to library. Get rid of Superbot. Once you're here, it can be a little confusing. So let me know when you have questions, okay? Or you can always also email library@atlantic.edu with your questions. You're going to need this username and password if you don't have it down already. Off campus, you can click on that. I just clicked on go to library resources. And we're looking for articles. Reference sources is a couple of weeks ago, I posted something about Credo reference, about doing some background reading. And now you can go through this area to find a peer-reviewed journal article, but find articles might be easier. So let me go take you this route. Find articles. And then I generally go to multidisciplinary. You can click on controversial issues. You can really click on any of those if you wanted to, but I'm going to go to multidisciplinary. And there's a lot of little steps here. So you just see, I just hit that. I expanded on the multidisciplinary. Sorry, I'm just going back because I didn't explain it. So I'm clicking on this. I'm clicking on it again. And then once it comes to this page, I'm clicking on Academic Search Premier. I'm going to go over to the off-campus login. If we were in our classroom, in one of our classrooms, or in the library, we'd be able to use the on-campus login, but we're not. So we're clicking on off-campus login. Username is study. Password S1112Y. And here we are. Okay, before I lose you, let me show you two things that you have to check off on this page in order to be successful here in this activity. All right, so before we even pop anything up, pretend that this is just sort of like Google, right? Before we pop anything into there, this takes you to, this is a database called EBSCOhost, right? It's searching through all that Academic Search Premier and EBSCOhost has. There's lots in here, right? All newspaper articles, magazine articles, lots of popular sources, and lots of academic sources. We're going to try and streamline it so that we're just looking at those academic sources, the really professional, right? So the way to do that is to come down here and click on full text and scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So full text, what that's going to do is that's going to give you the whole article, not just a little blurb. So you have to do that. You have to click on the full text and scholarly peer-reviewed. That's what we're looking for this one source to add. It needs to be a scholarly peer-reviewed journal article. Some of you have that already in Essay 2. So you don't actually need to do this if you already had one. Number of pages, I like to click on this and do less than, and I'm going to put in 15. Less than 15 pages. Let's just see if that works. And then the published date, I want it to be pretty current. So I'm going to do 2014 to 2020. See what comes up. So those are the only things that I touched. You don't even need to touch the number of pages in the published date piece. Come back up here, and here we're going to put in your search terms. Let's pretend we're doing gender stereotypes and see what comes up. I could add and mental health, but I'm just gonna see that. So 228 sources pop up. I am going to read the titles. This is how I would normally do it. I'm just going to go through. There's a couple skills I'm going to cover right here that are going to be important to you. So please stay with me and keep listening. I'm going to read the titles as you would normally do, right? Some of them are going to be way over my head, so I'm not going to be clicking on them. But some might look right up my alley, up my paper's alley. I don't know, specific. You want to put in a little bit more specific search terms. If you know what you're looking for, that's great. Clearly, I'm not clicking on this one, about bird performance and gender in Japanese quail, though that sounds interesting. But there's a couple here on women in STEM that seem pretty interesting. And I'm going to find one if I can. Kids take on gender stereotypes in advertising. That might be interesting. That comes from a journal called Children and Libraries, the Journal of the Association for Library Service to Children. This one's interesting. Political participation, criminal justice system, law enforcement. So you can see how streamlining my search terms is going to be helpful, but this is all helpful to my process. Let's go. Click on this one. The role of sex-related voice variation in children's gender role stereotype attributions. Let's just pretend, maybe this is possibly of use. So I'm going to click on the title of it. If you didn't click on full text, you'll probably just get the abstract. You know what abstracts are from your psych and soc classes. You'll probably just get this, right? But because you clicked on full text, now you can go over here and click on either one of these HTML or the PDF full text and read the entire article. Of course, you're going to start with just the abstract. See if this is worth your time, right? This is something about, the way we change our voices. So, and vocal anatomy. So make sure that it's appropriate for your paper before you click on full text and, spend an hour in there. Once I click on full text and I decide it's the one for me, let's do that. You have the option to either email, you can print it, you can save it to Google Drive, you can email it to yourself, which let me show you the beauty in this. When you email it to yourself, you're just going to pop your email in there, your personal one, whatever it is. I don't think there's no requirement that you use your school one, so you can just, put in whatever you want. And I'm just going to number them, so might be good. I'm writing a note to myself, right? But here's where I wanted to show you. You can scroll down, click on MLA, and guess what? It's going to send you the article as well as the full citation in MLA format just to your email, right? Another piece is if you like this one and you're going to use it and you got what you need out of it, you can also click on this Cite button over here. This one that looks like a piece of paper, a document. Scroll down. There's APA if you were in Psych or Soc. And here we go. I can copy and paste my MLA citation right into my paper. When I'm talking about this paper, this article in my paper, right, I'm going to write Carte et al. In parentheses, right? Or when I'm using my parenthetical citation, I'm going to add the page number too. So Carte et al. And add the page number. And then this entire citation goes into my works cited page. APA is up there. So if you were using it for Psych or Soc. All right, so just wanted to show you those two different, or a few different skills, how to get to the databases, how to get here to EBSCOhost, how to search around. And, you know, though this is kind of a random article here, it just gives you a good example for how to send it to yourself, how to have the full citation, make sure you check off on that full text. All right, any questions, then please, of course, send me an email or post it to our class discussion so I can help out with that. Thanks, guys.